Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Lost Ark video. It's Tuesday, so let me hop on over to the web browser. We don't need to be in video game. I just waited for the patch notes to drop. They just dropped a couple minutes ago. Let's take a look at them. Calm before the storm. This is the good shit. So this is the patch that is introducing bound gold. Not 100% sure how they're going to introduce it. Or the values. So I'm interested to see what exactly it's going to look like, because again, I haven't read this. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Might be the first time you guys see it. Who knows? If not, he's hanging out in the O, good old Henry. Take a look at that video if you'd like, but I'm sure we're ready. Indigo Island. So this is the, as far as I'm aware, it's the new island that they're adding that gives you, I think it's elixirs and honing mats, but I could be wrong. I think it's similar to that one island we used to do way back in the day. I don't remember the name of it. God forgive me. Let me take a sip of water. Good old H2 Agua. Indigo Island, though, is located off the keister of Curzon continent in the Sea of Guiana. Blah, blah, blah. Needs to be 1600 to go there. It includes a quest that can be completed, single-player cave dungeon. Yeah, so it's like, it's the fucking dungeon here. It's gonna drive me mad if I don't. It's the fucking dungeon that is, like, over here. Anguish Isle, where you fight Stella, and you get, like, the things to buy the things at the vendor, and you get the Omnium Star. That's the dungeon. It was my understanding that it was similar-ish to that. Anyways. Successful completions will award luminous coral stones, which you can exchange for progression mats, including potent elixirs, so the silver elixirs, and more. Okay, cool. Good to know. Dungeon can be completed once a day per roster. Cool. Some screenshots from it. Very cool. Reminds me of Dungeon Defenders, honestly. I fucking love Dungeon Defenders, man. What a game. Ooh, Bound Gold system. We're already here. So, the Bound Gold system. Let's see how they did it. Bound Gold introduction and uses. Bound Gold will be added as a way to trade gold, or to grant gold that can be used exclusively in progression systems. 2 current systems will be updated to provide Bound Gold instead of tradable gold. The gold reward chest from Una's tokens along with solo mode raids. Okay. I think it's fair that they make Una's bound, but I hope they leave a portion of the solo raid gold tradable, like I have been saying. We will continue to evaluate the system and look for ways to reward players with gold without negatively impacting the economy. Bound gold can be used in literally any system that does not let you trade it. Stronghold crafting included with the farm. So, again, let me hop over to in-game. You're not going to be able to use it to craft things from the workshop, right? But farm mats, if you have your farm set up and you generate, like, the untradeable stuff, you'll be able to use bound gold in order to craft shit using these mats, which I think is fair, and also I think is pretty good. But you can see here just everything you can use it for, basically anything that doesn't allow you to trade it. And then with the 3 new types of gold, well, not 3 new types, but with the 3 types of gold, the order in which gold will be used in systems that accept all of them will be bound first, then your deposit gold, so trade hold gold, and then tradable gold. Solo mode gold rebalance. It will be swapped to bound gold and increase better support. So it's just a full bound gold swap. Okay, let's see how much it got increased by. I'm only familiar with akkan, really. So that's over 6,000 gold, right? Let me open up the calculator because my math is horrendous. I've never claimed to be able to add numbers together. But that looks over. Yeah, it's 6,800 gold. That's more than 75%. That's more than 80%. That's 85, isn't it? Because you get 8,000 gold from normal. Yeah, that's 85% gold. Dang, cool. Honestly, it sucks that no portion of this is tradable, like at all. But, hear me out. I think going from these values to these values is going to help newer players more in the long run. I think. I mean, obviously it's going to help people who just have low shitty alts and only want to do things for, like, solo raid gold. Obviously that's 100% going to help those players. But I've always been trying to look at this from the lens of a new player. And I think with the old values of gold, I think solo raids were a pretty good learning tool. They just really needed to add Theomine and Echidna, like ASAP. You can't really have it be behind the latest content at that point, in my opinion, because this is supposed to be a learning tool. But now that the bound gold seems to be like 80%, 85%, I mean, I only did the math on the Akkan gold, because that's the only raid that I know by heart how much gold you get from normal. You get 8,000 gold from Akkan normal, and you get 6,800 from solo Akkan, which is 85%. I think they'll be able to progress much more reasonably, like a new player, just through solo raids. But again, the only thing that I am, like, hesitant about is them not having any tradable gold at all to slowly stockpile towards other things in the game that you need. Though I will say it matters a lot less now, specifically, because you can also craft Arehas from the farm with bound gold. But still, you want to eventually transition these players into being able to play with, like, I don't know, other people. And the way to do that is by gearing your character out so it looks more appealing to other people. You know, the whole resume application shit. So one of the big things people look at, obviously, is gems. Obviously, they look at roster level and cards and all that shit, too. But I've been thinking about gems specifically. And not being able to slowly stack up tradable gold in order to purchase, like, gems kind of sucks. And, like, of course, you can always make the argument that, like, Akkan, for example, like, normal Akkan shouldn't be hard. Of course, I'm not arguing the difficulty of raids, though I do think normal raids in this game should be made easier to begin with. We're not arguing that right now. I just think they could have done with making a small amount of the gold tradable. Like, leave this amount of gold tradable, and then the difference between these two values could have been bound. But I don't know. I digress. I still think this is a better system than we had before. Rather than like 40% gold, now we have like 85% gold, 80% gold. That's pretty good. And I think it'll help the newer players more. Daily activity improvements, so Chaos Dungeon Purification System. Chaos Dungeons will receive a new weekly purification system when playing through Chaos Dungeons Order of Resonance active. You can earn weekly points. These points will accumulating in rewards chests. Culminating? Fuck me. Am I stupid? Bro, it's 9 a.m. I'm not supposed to be up this early. I know that's, like, very normal for most people. This is, like, when I go to bed, bro. Culminating in earned reward chests. Jesus Christ. Silver and honor shards received from Chaos Dungeons will be removed and replaced with set reward chests, containing them in the purification system. Players can fill up 50 points in the meter for each Chaos Dungeon run, with a max reward earned at 300 points, so 6 runs in a week. The rest bonus will not affect purification points. The system will function very similar to Una Token and is built to give players more agency surrounding when they want to do their Chaos Dungeons throughout the week to limit fatigue. Accompanying the launch of this change, a special event will be added to further bolster the rewards received. Learn more in the events section of the release notes. Okay. Ebony Cube adjustment, some small changes that will speed up Ebony Cube playthroughs, such as updating scaling enemies' HP based on the number of players. Okay, that's good. No complaints there. Some new events. Chaos Dungeon Purification event. Chaos Dungeon event will be accompanying the launch of the Purification system. The event will run from I almost said October, August 14th to September 25th. But the Chaos Dungeon Purification system will continue after the end of the event. The event is built to give additional rewards as we head towards the launch of Tier 4. Cool. During the event, bonus reward chests will be granted when reaching 100, 200, 300 purification point threshold. The chests include honing materials corresponding to the level of the cleared dungeon. So you got redstones, blue stones, leap stones, purification tokens, which you can spend at event shop for additional rewards, transcendence restoration tickets, honing support chests, fusion mats, and more. Okay, that's good. And then Maharaka Festival will also continue with the minigame, exclusive event shop, new daily quest, new fever time has been added, new daily login reward track update, new cosmetics. I'm not going to spend too much time on the cosmetics. You can kind of get the idea of what they are just by looking at them. Very interesting. Oh, and then the Omen cosmetics are coming back. God bless. General updates. Character name reset. Character names will be freed up from some inactive accounts who have not logged in Lost Ark over a year and below level 50. Endgame content will pop up when attempting to terminate the connection and change the character during endgame content. Wow, very cool. Adjusted the waiting time for dungeon quit vote. Okay. Well, that's the patch notes. I don't know. We'll have to see how it ends up working out. Some other threads that I open up, people have been talking about. Best parking spots for alts remain 1600 to 1610. Changed my mind. And then, I'm not going to read this out, but this guy has a very succinct argument. And ultimately, all I can say is, I think, in my opinion, alts should only be played if you want to play them as, like, an additional character. I don't think alts should ever they should never have been this vehicle to, funnel resources from that character to your other character. I think the only time you should really be playing alts is if you want to play the alt for the character. And in that case, I think potentially hamstringing your character just because it makes more sense to keep them at a lower item level to funnel resources is just bad. Reason being, again, in my opinion, and again, this is all just opinions, again, the reason you hone an alt is because you like playing the alt. So if you like playing the alt, why purposely keep them at such a low item level so they can't do anything other than funnel gold from old raids that slowly take more time as the game progresses? Anyways, that's my opinion. In theory, yes, but in practice, underleveled alts with bare minimum becomes a source of frustration, since the only real reason to exist is to generate gold, and that mindset sucks the fun out of any character. Yeah, I think this is also very true, too. Like, I don't like my alts being rat alts. I like my alts being as strong as I can reasonably make them. I mean, I'm not a swiper. I'm not, like, a massive whale. I would if I could. I just don't have the funds to do it. Never have. Probably never will. But I like having my ults be as strong as they reasonably can, because it's not fun playing weak characters. I think the mindset of ults are here just to generate money makes the game boring as fuck. Have 3x 1620s, but no 1630. You find the 3 characters fun to play, even though I know I can make me 1630 with the full level 10s. I didn't spend that much on my alt. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like I said, this is like my opinion with alts. I want them to be playable. I want them to be as strong as they can be within reason, but they're more than just a sponge to give me money. Solo mode feedback as a returning player. 1,000,000% positive experience for me. Lost Ark was your favorite MMO of all time. You loved the combat and class playstyles. However, you quit about a year ago. Hated the forced team raid experience. Pain points for me of team raids was difficult to learn the mechs. Oftentimes, if I died at 50% raid completion, the rest of the team was able to finish it. Well, that's not how it is these days, so don't worry, brother. Gatekeeping is a DPS, force to play supports to be able to find teams. I mean, I think it's just easier to get into groups as a support in general, but doesn't necessarily mean you can't play a DPS if you don't want to. You just have to put more effort and time into it, which, if you're not somebody who can consistently spend time on the game, can become very, very difficult very, very quickly. So I think playing a support is fair. Yeah, you're not hardcore enough about progression. That's exactly the kind of, like, area where it starts becoming hard to get into groups as a DPS. Raids took forever to complete due to 1 and 2. Plus, when you finally make a group, you find someone blows out the mechs every time. Even if you know them, there's always somebody who doesn't. I mean, I guess that's true. But, I mean, point 1 and point 3 are kind of at odds with each other, are they not? Are the mechs too easy, so even if you don't do them right, you can pass them, or are they too hard, so even if you know them, other people don't, and you can't clear? I just feel like 1 and 3 are like opposites of each other. Like these can't both exist. I think it's just frustrating that when people make mistakes and you're not making mistakes, and it's vice versa, because it happens a lot. You see this a lot in things like Echidna or Theamine. People are very clearly burnt out and they start making mistakes. And then once one person starts making mistakes, generally it starts snowballing. Other people start making mistakes, restarts. I'm sure if you've pugged shit, you're definitely familiar with this phenomena. Solo raids fixes all the issues for me. Easy to learn mechs. If you make a mistake, simply take a moment to recap, check the guide, try again. No gatekeeping, play any character you want. I mean, that's the big thing. No gatekeeping, you just play whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want. Much faster to do. It is definitely faster. For sure. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're not playing Lobby Simulator. That's like one of the bigger things. Obviously, the second one is the fact that if you are confident in your ability to clear the solo raid, you're never going to jail. So there's always that too. So there's multiple reasons why it's faster. So definitely understand that. Find it much more rewarding to raid solo. As you can say, it was 100% you. No one carried you. Yeah, I think that's a good thing too. Very good thing. And I think that's like the mentality that I take playing MapleStory. And I know a lot of people give me shit for it too. People are always like, oh, why don't you party for Black Mage? You're so strong. You should have been partying for Black Mage months ago. Like, yeah, I know, but with the power creep in the game and all that shit, I don't know. I just don't find it rewarding. Just because I can party clear something doesn't mean I necessarily want to, and it takes away from the achievement of, like, playing the game. Because I don't necessarily play the game to get the highest number or get the best gear instantly. I just want to, like, do the progression or whatever. So I definitely think this is a big thing, and especially for, like, the players that are coming back that don't really care about ever getting into groups for things. I think this is, like, a pretty big selling point for the game. So I think that's cool that it exists, and I'm happy that people enjoy it. More bound gold. Yeah, I think the bound gold's going to be huge, too. My only gripe with solo raids, why isn't there a Theamine Echidna to practice on? Yep. They should not be delayed. Like, maybe this is a hot take, but the current content should be practice mode or solo mode from day one. There's no reason for it not to be. Like, solo mode is probably potentially the best learning tool we'll ever have in this game. So intentionally hamstringing it and keeping it X amount of raids behind the content that we're actually doing is just like asinine to me. Because you're not doing it for rewards, unless you're a specific solo-only player. Alright? I'm just going to briefly touch over the Chinese akkan nerfs. But basically, akkan got nerfed in China. China Lost Ark. Almost said China MS. China Lost Ark. You can kind of see the changes here. But ultimately, I think this is really good, and let me be clear, I think this is something that our version should have done a very, very long time ago, and that is nerf the difficulty of normal raids. People always say, oh, these raids are already super easy, why do you need them to be easier? Okay, one, just because something is not difficult for you does not mean it is not difficult for the vast majority of players. Vast majority being the casual player base. Casual player base is the player base that matters. If it's not hard for you to begin with, why not nerf it? It's already easy, right? So why making things more accessible is bad? I don't get it. I do not get it. I do not get it. Normal mode should be easy and clearable by the vast majority of casuals. It should be. I'm sorry. And again, China Lost Ark only nerfed normal. Only normal got nerfed. This is good. This is exactly what I've been saying that should happen in our version for months upon months. Leave hard mode however hard you want it. I'm not even going to talk about the fact that we have Inferno, and Inferno could be the fucking bullshit. You can leave hard as hard as you want. Make normal clearable by very, very, very casual folk. That's it. That's it. That's it, man. There's another big thing that just dropped in China Lost Ark. China's getting their hard mode Theamine lowered to 1620, and then their Voldus hard mode to 1610 instead of 1620. So 1630 and 1620 respectively, going down to 1620 and 1610. Which, honestly, I think is... I mean, it makes sense, I think. Because the way that it is right now, you have regular Voldus at 1600. Then at 1610, you have normal Theamine, right? Then at 1620, you have normal Echidna and hard mode Tower. Then at 1630, you have hard mode Theamine and hard mode Echidna. Doesn't feel like a very linear progression that makes sense to me, at least. I think being able to get elixirs the second you get into normal Theamine makes the most sense to me. Because elixirs, just look at when the content came out, right? It was elixirs, Theamine, Echidna. So, wouldn't you want people to progress through the systems in that order too? I don't know. This just makes more sense to me. And there's nothing different about the difficulty. They say the difficulty should be about the same. Should be noted that the most difficult Harmon dungeon, I mean, this is just translation stuff, will retain the relevant setting to meet the challenge of adventures. So this is just saying that the difficulty's not getting changed. Like, it'll be shifted downward since it's lower item level, but relative, it will be the same, like, difficulty. Pretty huge, 1610 to be able to reasonably get 40 set now. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. I think this is really good change. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I will go see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know your opinions, all that good shit. Broda Chris out? Question mark? Consider becoming a member, all that good shit. I love you all. XOXO. Bye.